that's what the conversation essentially sounds like. It's a lot of humor, a lot of sarcasm, a lot of strange internet phenomenon that we'll talk about, mixed in with some parenting, some leadership stuff. It's really hard to describe, but it's fun if you like sarcastic internet.
Well, I love listening to it personally, and your description is very accurate. You know, it's some offbeat stuff that you see on the internet and you shake your head, and but yet these are real. This is very real, but it's delightful to listen to. Okay, so we'll go back. A couple more questions, real quick, Dave. What advice would you give any organization that is looking into OKRs and performance management and goal setting?
Yeah, so visibility is really important.
Mm-hmm.
I think, having it's, like you don't want to have your strategic plan and keep it all to yourself or just keep it to your leadership team. With your objectives, everybody should know what they are. And that's where I remember one of our coworkers when he was working out of Tyson's office, Dwight Chamberlain, he had his OKRs taped to his window. Right. And in his office. And like if you would go to his office to talk to Dwight about something, it's like, here's what his OKRs are. And before you even go in there, you know what's important to him. And so if what you have to talk about is, you want to phrase it in that context ideally. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's like, it's a discussion of like, okay, well, do I need to change my OKRs or the team's OKRs? And so sharing that visibility is in that transparency, I think, is really, really important, especially when, again, as we're all remote and, everybody knowing the why of what they're doing, of why is government readiness so important, all of those types of things. Why do we want to make Red Hat and ensure it's like the best place for people to work at and thrive at in our public sector organization? So many great things like that.
Terrific. All right, last question. So what was this burning question that you had about objectives and key results, and what did you find out was the answer?
Yeah, for me, the thing I wanted to know was that how would this align with Red Hat's culture? Is it the kind of thing that, would it seemed to, in terms of the transparency works out really well. But then again, it's sort of like in the very much the Red Hat way. It's not like a top down, the president and CEO says, we're all doing OKRs and it's like a command and control push down sort of thing. It's very grassroots. Mm-hmm. At Red Hat, there are many groups within Red Hat that are doing OKRs. And the thing that I've learned is that it fits in really well with our culture. It also allows us to speak from one org to another org about what's most important to them. So like our engineering org and our RHEL business unit, Gunnar is actually the person that turned me on to OKRs a long time ago. Yeah. And he told me about it and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll get to it. And then I read the book. But with he's been doing that for a long time, but also so Gunnar is now the director of product management for the RHEL business unit. So if I want to affect change in the RHEL business unit by understanding what his objectives and key results are, I'll know whether it's like, will what I'm asking for complement that, or would it be outside of the scope?
Sure.
And so that allows me to have a richer conversation with him about, affecting change with Red Hat Enterprise Linux.
Right, and vice versa too, Dave. One of the things that everybody gets to see is, what's that person doing, or what does that group really do? And when you have a chance to see through the visibility aspect of it, and then have discussions about it and communicate and have feedback, you begin to see how everyone really is involved in their, not only what they're doing, but how they're involved and intricately involved as an entire organization. And
the linkage to the big picture.
Right, the linkage to the big picture. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, Dave, thank you. I really And I want to say something, Dave. You've been a wonderful person to introduce me to the Red Hat culture. Meritocracies are a little different than what I would say is a normal business environment. And I thank both you and Paul for the opportunity to have discovered and driven the OKR implementation and into the NAPS organization. So with that, I'm going to say have a fantastic week. You're also a motorcyclist, and so hopefully you get out and do a little riding, although it's a tad hot, but not too hot to get out on the cycle.
Yeah. Do it in the mornings. Yeah.
There you go. Beautiful. I love it. Well, Dave, listen, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us on the program, and we wish you all the best of success here in the last 2 quarters of 2020. Thanks, David.
Yeah.
See you now.
Thanks, Tim. Bye, everybody.
Bye.